Welcome to Undiscovered America TV. I am your host, David Downing, and today we're embarking on a journey through some of the most stunning and innovative architectural wonders in the USA. From the futuristic curves of the Gateway Arch in St. Louis to the towering trophies that crowd the Chicago skyline, we'll explore the stories behind these iconic structures and delve into the minds and the aesthetics of the visionaries who dreamed them into existence. So stick around and we'll share our plans for building beauty, exploring America's most unique architecture right here today on Undiscovered America.
Come along with me. Let's take it to the streets. Show you the land of the free like you've never seen. Talking about undiscovered America. Undiscovered America. Undiscovered America. Oh! Undiscovered America.
Here we are with Mark Hauser. We are on top of a skyscraper in Detroit, and he's here to talk about architecture today. Mark, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, David. Thanks.
So we are sitting in one of the architectural gems of America, Detroit, right?
Absolutely right.
Tell us, give us just a little thumbnail about what you do.
Well, I write about and talk about skyscrapers. I speak to groups. I give tours in my hometown of Pittsburgh of skyscraper rooftops. And I'm the author of 2 books about skyscrapers, especially antique ones.
I think of them as old but never antique, and you are correct. We are standing on the top. What floor are we on here?
I think we're on 38 of the Guardian building. This building is more about color than it is really about the mass.
You know, you walk in the lobby, this building is about color.
It's a box of Crayolas, or I like to say it's the throne room for the Queen of Legos.
What was it about the ethos, about the zeitgeist of that time that made everybody make their buildings so unique?
It's such a great question, but that was, I think, the height of creativity for skyscraper design. This brief period we call Art Deco now, that was about a decade and a half. And it really is a transition from old-fashioned Renaissance and classical styles on the outside of these buildings to really celebrating the technological advancements that they represent. And so it creates this sort of character that we still today think of as what a skyscraper is. And in fact, they kind of define our cities, right? If you think about your city, whether it be New York
the skyline.
Or Pittsburgh, where I'm from, that's skyline. So they are the character of the city. But America invented them. America had skyscrapers before anyone else. These are legacies, right? Any skyscraper you see, there's a story of a person behind it. I think it makes a building more interesting to not just appreciate its appearance, but to know how it came to be, who were the people, what were the personal stories behind it.
They are antiques, they are part of American history that we get to view every day.
Legacies in stone and steel, somebody said.
Thanks for being with us today on Undiscovered America. And if people want to know more about you, what you do, where can they find that out?
Well, they can find the High Rises collection at highrisescollection.com, and they can find me at hausertalks.com.
So after our conversation with Mark, I caught up with Chris Hytha, who did the art direction and photography for High Rises.
Tell me, what was the inspiration for something like that? Huge project.
Seeing skyscrapers as a young kid, you know, you're just in awe at how did they build that? What's going on in there? Like, how did that really come to be? Who designed it? All these questions. So in some ways, this project now to go and document these great old skyscrapers is fulfilling that childhood dream of trying to understand these buildings.
Because I'm looking at those photos going, there's something kind of surreal about the image itself. Talk me through the process.
The photos are taken by drone, and the real photos, they're not renders, but there's a lot of digital processing and editing that is involved, and try to make it as grand and exciting, as awe-inspiring as I can make it.
Chris, we have a beautiful view up here. I could stand up here all day, but I understand downstairs you have some images, you have a gallery. Can we go have a look at that?
Of course, let's go.
So Chris, here we are in the beautiful lobby level of the Guardian building. Look at this ceiling. I mean, this is like something, you just don't see things like this.
Spectacular, right? Yeah, and I really love to think of how these buildings actually reflect the culture of the time, and the buildings are so reminiscent of that excitement and energy. Yeah, I think it's fascinating to see the new with the old, and oftentimes with the background of these images, the backgrounds are composited in. So I have a lot of freedom where I could have made this look to Lower Manhattan to see the Empire State Building.
These are works of art. These are antique works of art. These are gifts to the future from American architectural past.
Their book High Rises is an unbelievable collection of Americana, a true labor of love from two guys who really know their stuff.
Listen, guys, this is a stunning achievement. Thank you for being with us today on Undiscovered America, and best of luck with your book in the future. And thanks for preserving and for documenting these really huge pieces of art that are distinctly American.
Thank you. We're delighted to be here.
Now, for today's Ask AI segment, sure, Frank Lloyd Wright is the most famous American architect, renowned for his masterpiece Falling Water in Pennsylvania, among other masterpieces. But who are some other iconic American architects, and what are their most famous works? Let's ask AI and find out. Louis Sullivan, most famous building, the Wainwright Building in St. Louis, Missouri. Known as the father of skyscrapers, Sullivan's Wainwright Building is one of the earliest modern examples of skyscrapers, emphasizing verticality with elaborate ornamental designs. Frank Gehry, most famous building, the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain. Gehry is celebrated for his deconstructivist designs. In the US, his Walt Disney Concert Hall, Beautiful, in Los Angeles, stands out with its sweeping curves and innovative design, not to mention its bright facade. Philip Johnson's most famous building, Glass House in New Canaan, Connecticut. The minimalist glass house made of, well, of course, glass and steel offers a seamless connection with its surroundings, showcasing Johnson's impact on modern architecture. Next up, one of my favorites, Eero Saarinen. Most famous building is the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. Saarinen's Gateway Arch is a monumental symbol of westward expansion. His TWA Flight Center at JFK Airport in New York is another of his iconic works. These architects, with their innovative designs, have left a lasting legacy on American architecture, so says AI. Look, we'll be right back with more storied stories after this quick break. Stick around. We were recently in Washington, D.C. and had the opportunity to visit the stunning National Building Museum and chat with the director. Let's check it out. This space is spectacular. Give us just a brief history of it.
Yeah, so this is the greatest great hall maybe in America.
It's like a cathedral or a train station.
I mean, it really is. Nobody's jaw doesn't drop when you walk in this room. Right. So this is the Great Hall of the National Building Museum, built in the 1880s, meant to be the pension bureau for the United States, and simultaneously also a place for grand events for the federal government.
The grandest event being?
Well, the inaugural balls, of course.
All held here.
Yes.
The Commander-in-Chief Ball.
The Commander-in-Chief Ball, yes,
right.
Starting with Grover Cleveland. So it's a long legacy.
So it makes perfect sense that the National Building Museum would be housed in a building this impressive.
Yes, I'd like to think so.
I wish this were my office, but can we see your office?
Let's do it.
All right, awesome. Let's go. Come on. Tell me, what is the charge of, what is your job? What is the purpose of the National Building Museum?
The National Building Museum, we are chartered by Congress to be our nation's museum for architecture, design, and construction. Really, to just put it in a nutshell, it's how we design and build a better world.
Wow, that sounds like a huge responsibility.
Yes, the whole world.
Right. I mean, it's the built
environment.
Right.
Correct.
How do you go about choosing what to include or what to focus on? Because clearly buildings in the name, but you use that as a launch pad for other expressions of that. Talk me through that.
Yeah, I mean, we see our role as really advancing public understanding about the built world and its power and influence in affecting the way you live, the way you work, the way you play, the way you worship, the way you walk. We're really trying to engage people in understanding the power of design.
That is, it's lofty. I love it, and it's. I'm happy that there is something somewhere, someone is watching out for this. How do you do that? Who are you? Who's your target audience?
Well, we really cater to a range of different people. We have the industry professionals, architects, builders across the country know who we are. They look to us for continuing education. They look to us to put our interpretation on what's important to discuss. But we also have an ever-growing group of the American public, of just culture seekers and anyone else who really cares about, who looks around their world and goes, wow, how does this happen? How do I get here? How do I get involved?
A lot of focus on kids too, right?
Absolutely. We serve families. We want to inspire the next generation of design thinkers and doers.
So there was one thing that I saw somewhere, that there was part of the National Building Museum is building stories as well, right? You have a program where kids are building stories. Talk us through that a little bit.
Absolutely. Building Stories is a multi-year initiative for us, where we're really kind of linking the idea of children's books and the wonder and how you kind of find your place in the world through children's books, also in the same way that you're kind of building your sense of place in the world. And so we're always finding ways through our programs, through our exhibits, to get kids in a hands-on way, or in a cognitive way, thinking about the built world around them.
So, and to understand that you start young, right? You have to build more museum goers, make an awareness at a very young age, and bring them up as lovers of the built environment. Tell us about some of the exhibitions that we have here.
We have such great content right now. We cater to our family audience. We have this exhibition called Brick City, where we're looking at 37 architectural models of the world through Lego bricks. And then we have a great design audience. We have an exhibition right now around Frank Lloyd Wright's vision, one called Capital Brutalism, which is getting a lot of buzz, looking at brutalist architecture.
Right.
And so we have a lot of great experiences for different museum goers right now.
Talk about bookends. You have Legos, you have Frank Lloyd Wright, and you have brutalism.
Yes.
But this must be intentional, because that's drawing a wide swath of interest into this.
Absolutely. We look at our target audiences, we look at who we cater to, and we try to create the content and the experiences. You can have a multi-generational experience here. I've had someone say to me, my firm and my family adore the National Building Museum, and that's it.
What do you hope to have happen under your tenure?
Well, I'd like us to really rise to that national prominence, and so that every builder, designer, aspiring builder and designer in America thinks about, if I'm thinking about how I want to contribute to a better built world, I'm going to look to the National Building Museum to partner, to visit, and to really dream. It's exciting to be adaptively reusing this historic structure to bring in new audiences today who think about things for the future.
Today we're taking you down a trek on the California Mission Trail, which is comprised of a series of architecturally distinctive structures that are not only beautiful to look at, but they also hold a significant place in the history of California. This storied route from Mission Sonoma in the north to Mission San Diego in the south has more than 20 stops, each with its own story that transports visitors back in time to the days of Spanish colonization of California and North America. These buildings were utilitarian, yes, but they were designed to be both functional and aesthetically pleasing, employing a blend of Spanish and Native American influences, and it is this fusion of styles that has created a unique architectural language that is still evident in the missions today. One of the most striking features of this architecture is the use of adobe bricks, made from a mixture of earth, water, and a bonding material like straw or grass, and then simply left to harden in the kiln-like heat of the California sun. That's it. And the thick walls made of adobe naturally regulated the temperature inside the buildings, keeping them cool in the hot California sun while retaining the day's heat on chilly desert nights. Up first is the Mission San Diego de Alcala, founded in 1769 by Father Junipero Serra. It was the first of its kind in California and serves as the birthplace of Christianity on the West Coast. Next, we make our way to Mission San Carlos Borromeo de Carmelo in, of course, Carmel by the sea. This mission was a favorite of Father Serra, perhaps due to its picturesque boutique hotel-like setting overlooking the Pacific Ocean. The stunning locale and well-preserved artifacts here make this mission a must-see for history buffs and architecture enthusiasts alike. Another key element of California Mission's architecture is the use of red tile roofs. The Spanish brought this distinctive roofing style with them from Europe, and it became a defining feature of the missions. Not only did they add a pop of color to the buildings, but the tile was an incredibly effective and inexpensive material that stood up to the elements. These rooftops were often adorned with decorative finials and crosses, adding to their charm and character. Next on the California Mission Trail, we come to Mission San Juan Capistrano in Orange County. Known as the jewel of the missions, it's one of the most famous of all, and its beautifully landscaped gardens, historic ruins, and iconic bell tower draw some 300,000 visitors every year. The courtyards and corridors here are adorned with signature element of California Mission's architecture. Beautiful arches known as Spanish arches or Moorish arches. These graceful, curved passageways were inspired by Islamic architecture and added a sense of elegance and grandeur to these missions. But they also served a practical purpose, providing continuous structural support for the walls while minimizing the amount of material required for construction. Our next stop takes us to Mission Santa Barbara, also known as Queen of the Missions. This majestic spot is a shining example of Spanish colonial architecture with its red-tiled roofs and intricate designs. The stunning chapel and expansive grounds make it a popular wedding destination for couples looking to tie the knot in a historic setting. To others, it's such a personal pilgrimage that they actually walk, yes, walk, the entire trail as an act of devotion, an on-foot odyssey that can take up to 2 months to complete. But whether you walk, bike, train, drive, or taken individually over a lifetime of visits, the California Mission Trail provides an inspired window to the past that continues to stand the test of time.
Stick around, we'll be right back with more Undiscovered America TV.
Poshmark is the perfect side hustle. It got me through school, a new job, and getting into my first apartment. There's so much I can sell. Bags, accessories, home decor, and it's so easy to sell on Poshmark, you can do it in a minute. I love it.
Welcome back. Now we're heading to Chicago Architecture Center and learning about the unique buildings that make that city so iconic. Chicago is a veritable museum of American architectural wonders, and the Chicago Architecture Center's tours are a great way to learn the history of these stunning structures. First up, we have Chicago River Cruise aboard Chicago's First Lady. This 90-minute excursion offers stunning views of Chicago's skyline, while expert docents share captivating stories behind the city's architectural marvels. From the Willis Tower to the historic Wrigley Building, visitors are treated to a leisurely river cruise while taking in views of the buildings that define Chicago's tremendous skyline. For land-based options, the must-see Chicago tour is a standout. This fast-paced 90-minute introduction to the city's most famous buildings covers everything from early skyscrapers to modern super tall high-rises, giving visitors a comprehensive overview of Chicago's architectural evolution. You'll see iconic structures like the Tribune Tower, Marina City, and the Aqua Tower, all while getting in a little exercise. We gotta get our steps in, folks, even on vacation. And for fans of Frank Lloyd Wright, the Frank Lloyd Wright in Oak Park tour is a dream come true. This 1-hour tour covers nearly a dozen of Wright's early works in Oak Park, offering insights into the architect's unique design philosophy and his influence on modern architecture. You'll explore exteriors of historic homes and learn about the innovations that made Wright a household name today. Another highlight is the Art Deco skyscrapers, the Loop Tour, which takes you inside the lavish lobbies of Art Deco masterpieces built during the Roaring '20s. This excursion showcases the era's fun-loving optimism and the luxurious materials and geometric designs that characterize Art Deco architecture. And lastly, don't miss the Hyde Park Tour, which explores the site of the 1893 World's Fair and significant buildings like Roby House, another Frank Lloyd Wright masterpiece. This is a deep dive into one of Chicago's most historic neighborhoods, blending the past and the present in a captivating narrative. The Chicago Architecture Center offers an array of tours that highlight the city's rich architectural history and innovations. So whether you're local or visitor, these tours provide a unique and educational experience, showcasing the beauty and ingenuity of the Windy City's buildings. From the skyscrapers of Chicago to the prairie homes of Frank Lloyd Wright, let's dive into the genius of America's most iconic architect. Look, even those of us with only a casual interest in building and design know that Frank Lloyd Wright was one of America's most iconic architects. His innovative designs have left an indelible mark on architecture, blending beauty with functionality in a way that continues to inspire. First, let's explore some of Wright's best-known buildings. The Roby House in Chicago, a stunning example of his prairie-style architecture, features dramatic horizontal lines and open interior spaces reflecting the expansive Midwest landscape. This design was revolutionary at the time and continues to influence modern architecture to this day. Next, we head to New York City to the Guggenheim Museum, one of Wright's most famous and most visited works. This spiraling building is as much a piece of art as the exhibits that it houses. Its striking design breaks from traditional museum layouts, offering visitors a continuous, flowing experience as they walk through and down its galleries. While Wright's major works are widely celebrated, he also designed many lesser-known buildings that are equally impressive. For example, in Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Palmer House showcases Wright's ability to integrate his structures with their natural surroundings. This Usonian home features his signature open floor plans and large windows, creating a seamless transition between indoor and outdoor spaces. Another hidden gem is the Lewis Penfield House in Willoughby Hills, Ohio. A testament to Wright's belief in creating affordable, beautiful homes, it was designed with thoughtful details and a strong connection to the landscape, in keeping with Wright's adherence to what he called Usonian principles. Traveling west, we find the Hollyhock House in Los Angeles. This residence was Wright's first foray into the California landscape, and its design incorporates elements of Mayan architecture. Of particular note is Wright's innovative use of indoor-outdoor living spaces, which become a staple of California design. Lastly, the A.D. German Warehouse in Richland Center, Wisconsin is a rare example of Wright's commercial work. This building's unique concrete design and intricate detailing demonstrate his versatility and creativity beyond residential projects. So to truly appreciate Wright's genius, you just have to see at least one of his works in person. And to that end, the Frank Lloyd Wright Trust provides a range of tours and programs that delve into his life and work, allowing visitors to explore his masterpieces firsthand. And next we have an iconic structure that defies gravity and defines a city. Designed by Finnish-American architect and industrial engineer Eero Saarinen, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri is a stunning architectural and structural achievement. But it's more than an impressive structure. It's a monument, a permanent physical embodiment of America's pioneering spirit and westward expansion. Completed in 1965, the Gateway Arch stands at an impressive 630 feet, making it the tallest man-made monument in the United States. Built to commemorate Thomas Jefferson's vision of a continental United States and the pioneers who helped shape the nation's expansion westward, its sleek curved design is a prime example of mid-century modern architecture, reflecting the bold, futuristic vision of that era. The journey begins at the Gateway Arch Visitor Center, where you can explore a range of interactive exhibits and 6 themed galleries that tell the stories of people and events that shaped the westward expansion. What many folks are surprised to learn, however, is that it's not just a gorgeous sculpture. It's actually an attraction with a tram ride that takes visitors all the way to the top of the arch, where breathtaking views of St. Louis and the Mississippi River await. The ride includes a pre-boarding exhibit featuring 60s-era animation and trivia about the arch, adding an educational twist to an amazing ascent. A more recent addition to the complex is the virtual reality theater at the Gateway Arch, where you can put on a 3D headset and be transported back to a bustling St. Louis riverfront circa 1850. This immersive experience brings history to life with sights and sounds that make you feel like you are actually part of the past. From personal experience, I can tell you this: like the Grand Canyon, the scale, the scope, and the sheer beauty of the Gateway Arch is something photos can only approximate. It must be seen in person if its grandeur is to be truly appreciated. Hey, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more amazing architecture right after the break. While Mother Nature's architecture cannot be improved upon, the man-made landscape has a beauty all its own. And wherever you go, even the most remote getaway, you will experience some aspect of the built environment. And we hope that this episode leads you to appreciate that every structure seen in your travels, from strip malls to cathedrals, is the result of human imagination. So until next time, keep exploring the beauty all around you.